Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Today, I'll be taking you through the topic, which is having a very important. It's very important in our day in day out classroom sessions. It's blended learning models, which is the future of teaching and learning. I would rather tell it's not the future of teaching and learning. At present, it is moving ahead. So, let's get into it. So, before moving into the session, I would tell you what and all I'll be taking you through. Before that, let me give you a brief introduction. My name is Dr. Sudha Ramanarayanan. I'm the senior headmistress in Chrysalis High Kadugudi, Bangalore. So, today in our session, we'll be taking you through the blended learning models, lies at the heart of 21st century education. As we all know, the world of education has undergone a massive transformation, right? So the classrooms are no longer confined within the four walls, which we think earlier. That is not the case now. So technology has become a bridge that connects between the teachers, the learners. More than teachers, I would rather call them as facilitators, learners, and the knowledge itself. So blended learning brings together the best of the both worlds, the personal touch of the traditional classroom teaching, and the flexibility, accessibility, creativity of digital learning. So, through this session, we are going to understand what blended learning means. Point number one, the various models that school can adopt for the blended learning, the teacher's changing role to a facilitator in the blended learning model. Fourth one, the tools and challenges that are involved in the blended learning model. And fifth point, how we can make the blended learning model sustainable within our CBSE framework. So let's get started. Understanding the blended learning model. So, blended learning, first of all, it's not just a technology in class, first of all. Let's take that myth away. It's about blending experiences which combines the face-to-face interaction with online or digital learning opportunities. It allows the students to take charge of their learning while the teacher remains the guiding force. For example, students may watch a concept video at home and then come prepared for a deeper discussion, flipped classroom, or an activity in school. So, this method also accommodates in different learning styles, right? So, some children grasp it better visually through videos and simulation. We call them as kinesthetic learners, though. So, others through the discussions or hands on work. So, it depends from child to child. So blended learning provides space for all these type of learners. It is flexible, it is dynamic, and it is learner centric, moving away from the role of rote learning to the exploration and application. Then moving on to the next one. Why this blended learning? Why do we need this blended learning? So the 21st century learner is totally different from the student what we have taught maybe a decade ago. So they are of digital natives. So they are very curious. They are connected to technology. They are constantly multitasking. So traditional method alone will not meet their learning pace or attention patterns. So blended learning addresses this by promoting student-centric learning. It helps the students learn at their own speed, revise the difficult concepts, and explore the extension of the curriculum independently. It also supports the differentiated instruction, allowing the teachers to personalize the lessons based on student needs. So, most importantly, it prepares our learner for the real world where the digital tools and independent thinking are very essential. So, blended learning is not a luxury sort of a thing anymore. It is necessity for the future education. Now, putting into the loop of CBSE and NEP 2020. So, the National Education Policy NEP 2020, as we all know, it emphasizes on the experiential learning, right? So, with flexibility and competency based education. So, CBSE has proactively aligned all these practices with a very good vision. So, blended learning supports NEP's emphasis on basically point number one, the technology integration. Then it again supports on the flexible curriculum design and the assessment for learning rather than that of simply wrought sort of a memorization. So, what are all the platforms we are looking forward here? We do have platforms like Diksha, ePathshala, then CBSE training portal, which we teachers generally use, are already the examples of these digital transformation. So through these blended models, schools can integrate these tools to make their learning more effective, more interactive, self-paced, and inclusive, while still maintaining the core essence of teacher-student interaction. So moving on to the next one, what are all the core models of the blended learning? We do have some core models of the blended learning. So the first one, there are four major blended learning models which are recognized globally and endorsed in CBSE's pedagogical frameworks as well, to be very precise. So the rotational model is the first one. That is, students rotate between online and offline classes. Second one is the flex model. That is, online learning forms the core and the teacher offer guidance. Teacher acts as a facilitator when, as and when needed. Then a la carte model. This might be new to many. This here, student take some courses fully online. Nowadays, though, it's very common in India. After the COVID pandemic era, the online courses have become very common now. So it's called a la carte model and enriched virtual model. It's a balanced mix of both online and occasional face-to-face interactions. So each school can choose or adapt one or more models depending on their grade, level, subject, and their infrastructure. So let's go one by one in detail. A rotational model. So in rotational model, it is one of the most common and effectively used one. Students move through different learning stations. For instance, let me take it through an example. One group could be watching a digital simulation. Okay. Another working hands on with a teacher, or another set practicing independently through worksheets. So the flipped classroom is a famous variation for this. So now here the students learn theory through videos at home, then spend classroom time on practice, projects, or doubt clarification. So this is what is generally meant by, with an example, the rotation model. So this ensures that the class time is used for the critical thinking, creativity, rather than very passive listening. Now, moving on to the second type of model, which is called the flex model. So in flex model, online learning is the heart of the instruction. Okay. So students have the flexibility to learn concepts digitally in their own pace, in their own way. And the teacher will act as a mentor there, providing support only when students need their guidance or feedback. So the model encourages autonomy, time management, and accountability. So outside India, its flex model is very widely used. So it's ideal for senior grades where students can handle independence and prefer as a self-directed approach. But this model also works wonderfully in hybrid setups or revision programs. Moving on to the third type of model, which we are going to discuss in detail, that is a la carte model. So this model allows students to choose certain subjects to study entirely online. For example, a student might attend school for the core subjects like math and science, but learn subjects like AI or now one more optional subject is widely in use in CBSE, financial literacy. They all can be learned through online platforms. So this widens the academic exposure and enables the school to offer more subjects without additional staffing. So it's very relevant for CBSE schools offering electives where specialized courses can be accessed through certified online providers. Now, moving on to the next type of model, which is the last fourth one, that is enriched virtual model. Enriched virtual model is a hybrid approach that blends online with occasional in-person sessions. So students might attend a few classes physically for practicals, group works or assignments while the rest of their learning happens online. So this model gained importance during after the pandemic, COVID pandemic to be precise. So when schools discovered how effective it can be used for the senior students, although it was not that greatly effective in junior, but yeah, for senior students it was quite effective. So it allows flexibility but also ensures personal interaction and emotional connection through scheduled school meetings. Now, what are the benefits of blended model learning? So, blended learning brings numerous benefits. First one is engagement. Students interact through multimedias, through quizzes and games. Second thing is accessibility. Lessons are available anytime, anywhere. Third thing is personalization. Teacher can tailor the content to the student levels. Fourth one is collaboration. That is, student work together both online and offline. Feedback, real time tracking of student progress helps immediate intervention. So these makes the learning deeper, interactive, and continuous far beyond the boundaries of the classroom, as we are aware about. So, what are the teacher's role in a blended classroom? So, in a blended classroom, the teacher's role involves from a formation giver to a facilitator, to a learning facilitator. So, we design the learning experience, guide exploration, and nurture digital responsibility. So, teacher can use these data analytics from online platforms to identify which students need the extra help. Our focus shifts from delivering content to developing the skills or collaboration, problem solving, and self learning. So, in blended learning ecosystem, teacher remains irreplaceable. So, don't think that it's taken over, the blended learning has been taken over, the teacher's role has been taken over. Never ever. The teacher remains irreplaceable and not for delivering like information, but for inspiring the transformation. The role changes a bit, that's all. Now, technological tools which are used for blended learning. One is LMS platform. The LMS platform, for examples, are Google Classroom, MS Teams, Moodle. To share the content and assignments, these are the LMS platform which is vividly used. Then next one is interactive tools. So we can make a note of it. For example, when any online sessions or anything we have to take. So these things have personally helped me. So that's why I've put it in the slides as well. So interactive tools are Nearpod, then Edpuzzle, Canva to make the lessons more engaging. Each and every presentation, if it wants to be really engaging, I take personally the help of Canva. Then assessment platforms, quizzes, Quizzes, quizzes. Then Kahoot is very, very commonly used by every teacher. Then one more thing which recently I could get to know is Mentimeter. Mentimeter, Mentimeter. These are for the instant feedback. Now, fourth one is the collaboration tools. That is Padlet, Jamboard, Trello for group work and creative transforming. So these tools allow the teachers to move beyond PowerPoints and textbooks, creating a dynamic learning space. what are the challenges? Whenever there is anything, obviously we will have to face the challenges in that. So what are the challenges in implementing blended learning? While blended learning sounds very ideal, they there are genuine challenges as well. Many students lack devices or the internet access. The poor internet connectivity can be a hindrance for that. Then in the remote areas, then second point is teachers need time and training to adapt to the new technologies, because we come after completing our B.Ed, everything, we come from a proper study classroom, that level. So we also need time to adapt to those new technologies. And then third point is some learners struggle with the self discipline and time management. Focus becomes an issue later on. So everything in a particular to a particular state, it's fine. Beyond that, obviously the challenges are worth. So how to overcome these challenges? So whenever there are challenges, we have to have, so um, to overcome barriers, we need to have a collective approach here. Like schools can organize a digital literacy workshops for the teachers and students, so they can ensure like equitable access by sharing the devices, or using community centers and all. And better start small, maybe one blended module per term. Gradual integration builds the comfort and confidence. So, peer mentoring among the teachers and sharing success stories across schools can also encourage more participation and sustainability. So, the conclusion and the reflection of the today's session. So, conclude, blended learning is not at all a replacement of traditional classroom. Let me make it very clear. It's just an evolution which is in process. So, it preserves the human touch of teaching while expanding learning through technology. It encourages the curiosity, independence, and lifelong learning. So, as educators, our goal is to make learning more meaningful and accessible to all the students. So, blended learning helps us achieve exactly that, like flexibility with focus, innovation with empathy, and technology with a human art. So that is what is basically the conclusion of the today's session. So thank you very much for being a part of the session. I hope you had a productive session on what is meant by blended learning, how to go about it, and what is it all about. So any reflections from your side or anything? I'm just leaving the room open for all.
Hello, ma'am. I just wanted to ask.
Tell me.
I'm from Kerala and I'm working as the principal of one international school here in Kerala.
Uh-huh.
So I just wanted to know whether any one of you